Hi, welcome to the Engine 200. Today is the 8th week, and I wanted to tell you a few things about the course. This is important because next week you are going to have an exam. So let me share my screen with you and tell you the things about the exam. We only have two exams. We have midterm exam and final exam. So this one is kind of important. So let me share the screen, and I'm going to use the Canvas to tell you what is important about the exam. Over here is our course website. The day of the exam, you will be able to click on this one icon to access to the exam. We use the proctorial to proctor your exam. So before the exam, you should install the software. The software simply just monitor your screen and monitor you while you are working on the exam. It's an open book and open notes exam, so you can look online. You can try to see, any video that you forgot how to do it, and you can watch that video. But it will slow you down, so you are not going to have a lot of time to watch the video, learn how to do just one simple things. There's only a couple questions, so you wanted to practice before you take the actual exam. And if you go down to the bottom, there's week 8 is the week that we are right now. The week 9 is your midterm exam. I have a study guide, which I will open by the end of today. Then you can click on the study guide. When the exam starts, then you click on the exam, then you will be able to access to the exam. Exam is online. It will start from 2 to 5. So make sure that you come in at 2 and you have 3 hours to work on your exam. What will be the exam looks like? You can click on the study guide, and as you can see, the study guide gives you the guidance of what you should prepare for the exam. We will be require you to have 2 templates file. It will help you to save a lot of time. If you don't have that template file, you're going to spend time to create some settings such as the unit, a dimension, and the layers. It will take you a lot of time to do that. So make sure you have 2 template files. One is for the inches, one is for the millimeter. Both of them has the layers. It is one of your lab that you have to do, so you should have that file unless you never ever work on the lab before. So before you come to the exam, make sure you have these 2 files ready. Each one of the template file create a layer and the different type of lines, right? So you have center line, object line, or the visible line, and you have a hidden line, you have a construction line, these dimensional line as well, extension dimension line. Those lines are the line that you need. Some of the command that you are probably will feel it's useful. In the exam, I might ask you to find the dimension of the object that you draw. Dimension not only including the length, the width, the angle, but also could be like area or the volume. So you need to know how to use the measure command. This command, you can type it, and here on the video show you how to use it. Okay. You need to know how to draw a multi-view. The multi-view is one of the problems that you're going to do in your exam. So here is an example how to create a multi-view. You also need to know how to add dimension. These 2 are the most important part. It's going to be the big portion of your exam. So make sure that you know these 2 topics: how to draw a multi-view, how to create dimension. Dimension has a lot of detail. So I will go back to our week activities later and tell you about that a little bit. If you click on the next tab, which will show you the review question and solution. So this is a like all exam that I give to the student before. Since we are doing the open book, open notes, so we are not going to have the multiple choice question for this exam. Okay. You will be only work on the exam about the drawing. So I recommend that you read the top few, the following topics. You need to know the line type and what are the line used for. You need to know how to use the dimension symbol. So dimension symbol meaning like the diameter. How do you use the symbol represent diameter? How do you use the symbol to represent a counter bore, countersink, and depths? How do you use those symbol? How do you create those symbol in AutoCAD? In um, our lecture for this week will tell you how to create those symbols. In your book, it also tell you how to create this symbol as well. And there's a lot of dimension rules, unit system, and what is the runoff error. Okay, you need to know some basic AutoCAD skills that include how do you use the coordinate to draw an object. How do you use the train to train out? How do you use the polygon? How do you create a circle, and how do you use those on snap? So those basic skills, you should know how to use those. Coordinate, you have a Cartesian and polar. You also have absolute and relative. Most of the time, we will use the relative, which you have to include an at sign. You need to know how to do a multi-view. So here are some of the examples. For example, I might give you a question with sort like a partial multi-view. Then you have to finish the view. Okay, so this is an object. Just tell me what this finished multi-view should looks like. This is the solution for the previous problem. Here's another problem. So this problem here, we give you most of the multi-view, and there's some missing lines. You have to finish those missing lines. We also want you to do dimension. So how do you dimension this in addition to the multi-view? Here is the solution. Okay, try to work on those things before you look at a solution, see if you understand how to do dimension. Again, dimension is an important part of your common exam. It's very easy to make mistake, so make sure that you read through that. This one example is called a auxiliary view, which is the topic for the last week, I believe, or the week before. Auxiliary view is the view that you look at some inclined surface, which is not parallel to your point of view. In this case, is this face over here with the circle. If you look from the front view, it's going to be an inclined surface. It's not flat. So how do you know the actual dimension of this inclined surface? You have to draw the auxiliary view. So this view will show the exact dimension of this surface. And here is the example solution. The last part of your exam is going to give you a three-dimensional object similar to like this one here. Then we're going to ask you to do a multi-view and do a dimension. So we will specify where is your front view, where is your side view, where is your top view. And you have to draw those things and also put a dimension. Here is the solution. So you can see there's a lot of things they have to do, and you don't really have 3 hours just by trying to watch the video and learn how to do it. It will take you 3 hours to learn how to do it. Then you won't have time to finish your exam. So you should work on those lab and homework to get familiar with this such that you are not going to unprepared for the exam. One more thing I wanted to tell you is that you should turn in your work, because right before the exam, I will also, the next week, like Tuesday, I'm going to release all the lab solution at here and also the homework solution. Right now, I finished some of the grading. So if you didn't turn in by the next week, then you were not going to get a credit for those work that you missed. because I'm going to release the solution. So make sure that you turn those in by the end of this week, by the end of this coming Sunday. Otherwise, you're not going to get the credit. This is the topic about the exam. Let me go back to the Canvas. I wanted to also tell you about the thing that you have to do for this week. Okay, here is the week 8. We're going to continue the dimension and we're going to look at the advance the topic of the dimension. Click on this module objectives. You're going to see that what are the things that you're going to learn. We're going to learn how to use the dimension in AutoCAD. We're going to use how to use the DDIM, which is one of the command, and the M leader style. These two commands will set the dimension format. Again, in an exam, it's better that you also set this one up before you take the exam. So in your template file, you can also set these two things in your template file. It will help you to take the exam. Make sure that you follow this two command setting in your template file. So how do you set this? When you work on the lab, in your book, there's a tutorial to tell you how to set this one up. You're going to read the book, you're going to watch the video, and you're going to learn how to do that, and you're going to do the lab, you're going to do a homework. So these are the things that you need to do. Here are the video to show you the basic thing, how to create dimension. Okay, and there's a so-called associative and annotative objects, which just tell you if you have an object like annotation, your character will change with the size of the drawing. If you didn't make that annotated, then when you change the size of the drawing, the character, the text would not change its size. So if you want them change proportionally, you have to set this one up. Okay, so this is the one that will give you a brief introduction about that. The multi-letter, this should be the multi-leader. This one is the leader line. So the leader line is the line to dimension the circle. And there's also a way that you can add the dimensions as well. So here that shows you how to add the dimension. How do you add the dimension into your drawing in AutoCAD? When you go to the next tab, then you're going to see there's like a dimension example file, which you're going to work on some of the things by using these two files. Okay, so you need to do the tutorial from chapter A. Okay, so once you click on the star, then you're going to start to see the problem. So here are some like multiple choice question you have to answer, and here is the one that you're going to do the dimension setting. Make sure, please make sure that you go through this one and set this one to your template file. So this one will set the dimension. The dimension of the dimension normally refers to the length and the angle of the object. This line here is called the leader line. This is the leader line here. So it's the line with a bar and with an angled bar point to the object with an arrow. That is what we call the leader line. After you do that, and we also want you to do an added dimension text tutorial, and you want to start with some DWG template file so you can save some time without creating the drawing. These are the lab that you have to do. Once you finish the lab, submit the file, and that will be the lab. Okay, let me go down to the next one. The next one is your homework. So this one is similar to your exam. Just think about this as like your exam. If I give you this object, how much time do you need to create the multi-view of this object? Okay, for most of you, probably you need to spend more like an hour. And if you're not familiar with the MATLAB, then you might need to even spend more time to draw this picture. So in an exam, it's going to be, even though it's 3 hours, but a lot of people don't have time to finish that. It was because you didn't do the work, do the homework or do those lab. So make sure that you do those lab and homework to get familiar with the thing that you need to draw. So this one here, you're gonna need the set inches, DWT, and once you finish, you submit a DWG and the PDF. Okay, so this is the work that you have to do for this week. And so for the next week, which is the exam, on Tuesday, I'm going to online just giving you any of the help that you need. If you have trouble with certain things that you don't know how to do it, then that's the best time that you can reach me to find help. I can also go through some of the practice problem. If you don't know why those answers should be correct, then I can tell you about the details how we do that as well. So next week, Tuesday, I will be here to help you. And Thursday is your exam. Don't forget, you have to have 2 to 5 p.m. to be open, then you can work on your exam. You also need to install a software, which I will send out the email to give you the instruction how to install the software, and then you can take the exam. Other than that, good luck, and I'll see you on Thursday.